So far, 2023 seems like the year of AI. There have been announcements about new products, new collaborations, and new threats in equal measure. It has been the subject of corporate website releases, news articles, blog posts, and videos. From conspiracy theorist YouTube channels to the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, this is the story that is everywhere. And I'm personally very excited about these technologies. I think they open up huge potential for so many. And while with anything there are downsides, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that every single technological advance in human history has been a similar balancing act, but has also contributed in small or large part to where we are right now. But clearly there are those with legitimate concerns. Just last week an open letter was published with signatories including people like Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, asking for a 6-month moratorium on the development of AI models more advanced than OpenAI's GPT-4. There is concern that these technologies, developing at such an unchecked pace, may pose significant risk, with issues such as power-seeking behaviour highlighted in reports and testing over the course of the last few months. So in the face of those concerns, and with the likelihood that we are going to continue to see development speeding ahead, why should we be excited about AI? Well, reason number one is we're all trying to get more done. There's not a person I talk to who isn't stretched by the demands that are placed upon them, who wouldn't benefit from a few more minutes or a few more hours back each day. So really, we have two options as a species. We either take our foot off the gas and accept achieving less, or we employ new, better tools to help us continue doing more. That second option is really the story of human history. From the wheel, to the steam engine, to the computer, to the internet, we have a track record of advancing our tools and advancing how and what we get done alongside them. And in any objective measure, the world is a far better place for very many of us today than it was 200, 500 or thousands of years ago. So when I look at the tools companies like Microsoft or Google are bringing into reality, such as this announcement video for the integration of AI into Google Workspace, I can't help but believe we're looking at the wheel for the 21st century. The pains of today are the downsides of the technologies of yesterday. The internet created an information age, but we are now all drowning under constant communication connectivity and a weight of data that we expect to be brought to bear on every problem. These AI assistants or copilots are the mitigation of that problem to allow our brains to focus where we add value and allow the technology to swim in that sea of communication and information, throwing us the most relevant things they find. This AI revolution will not be without downsides, and we don't entirely know what they'll be right now, but nor did we entirely know the downsides of embracing the internet in the mid-90s, yet there would be few of us who wouldn't acknowledge at least some positive progress from that revolution. The second reason to be excited is customization. Being able to differentiate the service you offer to customers based on their unique needs or challenges can turn simple transactions into customers for life. But there are many places in modern society where we simply accept that the scale of a company's operations make this too hard to achieve for everyone. With AI, it's possible to partner with technology to customize experiences at scale for almost any business. Clearly, companies like Netflix have been doing this for years, but having an algorithmic secret sauce is beyond the needs or capabilities of many small, non-tech companies. Just look at the recommendation algorithm for Twitter that was open source last week. Your family restaurant or hardware store isn't going to be getting into this kind of territory. But as I showed in this video last week, see the link below if you're interested, with these new AI tools, it's entirely possible for any size of business to start customizing how they communicate with their customers in an effective, time-saving way. And those options will just keep growing alongside this technology. But let's not stop at customization for customers though. Another superpower that we found with AI chat tools like ChatGPT or Bing is that they are pretty good at surfacing serviceable information related to a problem where you're not really sure where to start finding that information. If you know what you're looking for, a Google search is still probably going to be best, but if you're not sure where to start, these can really help. This means that a lot of smaller businesses or individuals can perhaps start to gain access to knowledge in a new way and almost have expertise for their business that they were unable to afford previously. The ability to customize and tailor prompts means that you can get information in a way that works for you. But you do need caution. ChatGPT is not an expert on everything and should perhaps be regarded more as a helpful friend to point you in the right direction than a top-tier consultant on every issue. Take for example this exchange about a Power BI problem you might have. ChatGPT understands a dataset and provides a good answer to a simple DAX question. But when I asked it a slightly more complex DAX question, It got the answer slightly wrong. It kind of pointed you in the right direction, but not quite. And then when I asked it again, it seemed to get even more confused about how DAX worked. So if you're wondering, what did it get wrong? Well, it should have been referring to the customer ID column in the customers table, as opposed to referring to the transactions table in this all except function. So it got you kind of the way there, but not all the way. And that might be even more frustrating to someone who's trying to learn this than not getting you any other way at all. But where AI tools are more specialised, they can often do better, but not always. This is an example of using natural language to build flows in Power Automate, and sometimes it does a great job, but other times, just like ChatGPT, it gets you most of the way there. These tools really allow people to extend their skills and knowledge into areas they couldn't previously, but it reduces the learning curve instead of making it disappear. And reason number 3 is that the AI helps us to open new creative outlets. There's certainly a reasonable debate to be had about AI art, whether you're looking at it from concern about source attribution or just on the data set that's used for learning. But there is one thing that's very clear, and that is that there are many of us who are interested in aesthetics or design, but simply have lacked the practical skills and talent to be creative in that way. The ability of AI tools to take those ideas and turn them into something creative is pretty astonishing. And now it really couldn't be simpler, because you can do this directly inside Bing. Take this example with a basic prompt. It gives you 4 options, and I certainly couldn't draw any of these. This is literally accessible to anyone, but if you want more power and sophistication than what Bing can offer, then more complex solutions like Stable Diffusion are available. And this no longer just applies to images. This kind of technology is coming to video too, either making editing simpler or just straight up creating video for you. So while we still have to be worried about the threat of deepfakes, technology that has previously just mainly been used by expert mischief makers is coming to the masses with a much shallower on-ramp to be used for more productive outputs. So these are all good reasons to be excited, and I'd really love to see your reasons why you're excited in the comments below. But there are reasonable concerns that many people with much more expertise in these technologies have expressed. And while I don't think there's anyone who is reasonably suggesting that there's a doomsday scenario 6 months away, what are people actually concerned about? Well, fundamentally, the pace of development, the clear arms race of new products, potentially creates conditions where systems creating unintended harm get developed and rolled out. Think of issues such as propaganda, or the impact an AI tool with equivalent to average human intelligence could have on the jobs market. You'll find a link below to the letter that I mentioned, but just to look at it briefly, you can see that there's a main demand here that powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable. But to me, that seems a difficult hurdle for 2 reasons. Firstly, should we have sat on the steam engine and not allowed industrialisation had people in the mid-18th century had a good idea of the harm that burning fossil fuels might cause? We can acknowledge that harm while also acknowledging the benefits of our progress, so I don't think that there's a clear-cut answer to that question. And more recently, had we known about the growth of harms like online misinformation, ransomware, sexually exploitative materials and the like, should the idea of a World Wide Web have just been put in a box and forgotten? We still don't know how to manage those risks. We have no broad agreement, and countries with the most aggressive responses to them, like China with its Great Firewall, are also held up as examples of the curtailment of freedoms. I don't know what should lead us to believe that if we can't de-risk the internet over the course of 30 years, that we can do so for AI in 6 months. The most likely reality is that this development continues, and we start to see some real harms from it, but we also start to see some benefits, and those benefits are what help us to develop the solutions we need for those harms, and potentially for the harms of the older technologies that we've come to rely on. This is really our human story. We are much better at screwing stuff up and then trying to fix it over time than we are at restraining ourselves from screwing it up in the first place. So for good or for bad, that's what got us here, and that's why I'm still excited for seeing what AI might screw up next. I hope this has been a useful rundown for you, and I'd be really interested to learn what is it that you're excited about, or what is it that gives you some trepidation about AI. Leave your comments below. I hope to see you next time. Until then, bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching this video. The purpose of the content on this channel is to help small business owners, those working in smaller businesses, and really anyone else who's interested to get more value from Microsoft 365 and a whole range of digital tools in a way that puts your business priorities first. If you learned something new here, that's fantastic, and I welcome you giving feedback or asking questions in the comments. But often, you could benefit from more tailored, personalised help. And where that's the case, it'd be great if you'd consider reaching out for a consultation. Just head over to our Bright Ideas Agency website to get something set up. We work with a whole range of clients, both locally and further afield, and some work with us implementing the tools or strategies they first saw on the channel. I hope to see you back here soon. Until next time, bye bye.